Who should be your 2024 fighter of the year within the UFC? Well, this year there's been two guys specifically who have heavily stood out from the rest, and today we're getting down to the bottom line. Who should be fighter of the year? I'm going to do our full MMA awards at some point near the end of the year. But this is kind of the big one, so I thought I'd get its own video. And there's a big debate between these two people. Who is the fighter of the year? We got people on all sides. It's really 50-50 split down the line. And today I thought, I'd put all the facts out there, say my opinion, and, say what's good in it. Anyway, the first guy we're going to be talking about, Alex Poatan Pereira. Okay, the guy who honestly for like 99% of the year has been the front runner for fighter of the year. Like for 99% of the year, people have been saying this guy is the fighter of the year. Now it's kind of got a bit more suspect as we've got closer to the end of the year in the past like 2 months or so. But obviously, Alex Pereira, he went crazy this year. In this year alone, he practically saved the UFC for 2024 and became a top 3 light heavyweight of all time, all within this year. Okay, so Alex started the year by coming in short notice to save the biggest pay-per-view of the decade. KO's Jamal Hill in the first round of UFC Beat 300 to be the star of the biggest pay-per-view of the decade. Okay, this will be the biggest pay-per-view of the 2020s. Okay, early 2030 we'll get like UFC 400 or early 2031 or whatever. We will get UFC 400, but for this era of the UFC that we're currently in, this is kind of the pay-per-view that had all the guys. Okay, this oh my god, I'm dying. This was the biggest pay-per-view of the decade. This was the biggest pay-per-view since Conor and Habib. This was massive, and it was kind of looking flat. And then you had Alex come in to save the day, to save the pay-per-view, to put Jamal Hill in his place, and to be the star of UFC 300. But then in his second fight of the year, he steps in short notice once again to save his second pay-per-view of the year. Okay, obviously this originally was meant to be Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Conor pulls out because he breaks his foot or some shit like that. So guess who hops in? Alex Poatan Pereira hops in. He hops in and he defeats Yuri Prochazka. This is a fucked up image, by the way. Absolutely dominates him, pillar to post, start to finish. Just mogs him. Just straight up mogs him. Destroyed him in the first round, destroyed him in the second. And put any type of controversy about the first fight to bed. Okay? Any controversy at all. And this is where I think, it made it clear Alex was the best light heavyweight opponent. Like, no debate, unless you're weird or some argument. But we move on to his last fight of the year against Khalil Roundtree. So this was at UFC 307, and Alex steps in to save his third pay-per-view of the year. Now this fight would be tougher than, practically anyone expected. Khalil was a massive underdog going into this fight. But Khalil would actually win the first 2 rounds. But, Alex, pulls through, wins the third, absolutely fucking dominates the fourth. Okay, fucking dominates it. It was bad, man. He absolutely 10-8'd him. It was horrible. But he saved his third pay-per-view of the year. And if we go into his final stats, Alex ends the year with an insane run, dominating the light heavyweight division, solidifying himself as a top 3 light heavyweight all time. 3 fights, 3 KOs, 3 title wins. this was an absolutely insane year for Alex Pereira. And you know, for most of the year he's been the front runner for Fighter of the Year, but towards the end of the year a guy would sneak in. Moving on to that guy, Ilya Toro. We got Ilya Toro. Okay. Listen, okay. Ilya at the end of the year has made a huge claim of being Fighter of the Year. Okay. A huge fucking claim. While Alex Pereira was the front runner for practically the entire year, Ilya came in at the end of the year and shifted shit up a bit. Okay, he fucking, you know, he wobbled things about, you know what I'm saying. Now Ilya would start his year at UFC 298, where Ilya would knock out pound for pound number 2 in the world and 5-time defending featherweight champion Volkanovski, for him to become featherweight champ. Now Volk is at minimum top 10 all-time fighter. Okay, he might potentially be the featherweight GOAT. You know, I personally think I don't know, but you know, Volk's not a bad pick. And Ilya went out there and starched him, KO'd him in the second round. Okay, to become featherweight champ at just 27 years of age. And then he would fight Max Holloway at UFC 308. Now, the top 3 featherweights before Ilya came into play were Max, Aldo, and Volk in whatever order, okay? And Ilya knocks out 2 of the top 10 featherweights. And Ilya KOs Max Holloway, who's never been KO'd before. Never even been dropped. And Ilya KO'd the guy, which just created an insane moment. Now, if we look at Ilya throughout the year, he ends the year with the 2 best back-to-back wins in UFC history, beating 2 of the top 3 all-time in his division and having an insane year, ending it with 2 fights, 2 KOs, and 2 title wins. Now, to decide who really is Fighter of the Year, there's various aspects that we got, you know, take into play. Now, I believe Ilya has the quality. I think he beat the better guys. I also think he won more impressively, but not really that much. You know, the Alex and Khalil fight kind of brings Alex down, but like, to be honest, the performance against Yuri and Jamal were better than both of the both better than both of the, you know, Ilya's performances. But the Khalil fight did bring it down for him a bit. Really, I think they're even on the way that they won. Alex obviously has the quantity, okay? And when I say clutch, I just mean the general, think about the year from a fan perspective. Alex has kind of been the guy coming in clutch, saving pay-per-views out of nowhere. And that's why, for me, I think Alex Pereira is the Fighter of the Year. Now, the reason why is I just feel like when you think about 2024, who has kind of been the main character, okay? It's been Alex Pereira, okay? You know, he literally coming out of nowhere to save pay-per-views. He's been the personification of the UFC in the 2024. He's single-handedly saved the year multiple times. So for me, your UFC 2024 Fighter of the Year is Alex Pereira.